Hey guys, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's Mousy, the ultimate SL Clout chaser. Thank you guys so much for being here. I so appreciate you. And all of you guys who checked out my video yesterday, I made a video yesterday based on Cake Day's 6th anniversary. Happy birthday to Cake Day. Doja created an amazing event that a lot of people enjoyed from literally day one. It was something different with a variety of creators across the grid. And it was something that was desperately needed because we felt like we were seeing kind of the same things over and over again. And Cake Day kind of gives us really unique, beautiful pieces, and it is kind of geared towards more urban wear, but you can find tons of other stuff there. And yeah, it's a great event. And every anniversary of Cake Day, they usually give out free gifts. So yesterday I went in there and I grabbed all the gifts for you, whatever was available, because I know that a lot has been put in since, or a few items have been put in since. And I unpacked it and I showed it to you so you can just kind of check it out and just go pick what you want from the designer or creator that you'd like. And I'm actually wearing some of the free gifts. So these sunglasses, that's one of the free gifts. You can see who it's made by if you check out the video that I made yesterday. And then this purse, this Prada inspired purse. Very cute. I love it so much. I don't even wear purses like that, but I just love it. So I decided I'm like feeling my whole fit today. And I'm wearing shoes from Milash. If you guys know, you know, I love her shoes. This is kind of out of her style. She usually does this funky, quirky, kind of colorful style, and especially that it's black and it's sleek and it's like more of a stiletto heel. This isn't something that she normally does, but I saw it and I loved it. And I basically kept complimenting her shoes and videos, not thinking anything of it because I just genuinely like the shoes. And she gave me a free fat pack, so that prompted me to go in and tour her store. I did that in yesterday's video as well. It's at minute 54. And as a result, guys, I'm doing a giveaway, 3 fat packs. I just wanted to pay the graciousness forward because she also gifted me these shoes that I'm wearing today. And I wanted to give 3 people fat packs. So watch the video at 54 minutes and I kind of tour her store and I try on some shoes. If you like any shoes, leave your SL username down below in the comments and I will be sure to send you a fat pack. Actually, I was going to send the fat pack and buy it as a gift with my own money as a thank you to my subscribers, but the owner of Milash said she will be more than happy to give you guys free shoes. So guys, it's free shoes. You have all these different colors. So if you want it, be sure to leave your username below. Of course, you have to be subscribed, like, all the things. And if you're too shy, just hit me up in World. Right now, no one's kind of claimed the prize, but I really want you guys to have it, so please claim it. All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty, guys, of today's video. Today's video is about the perceived drama in virtual worlds like Second Life or other games like 5M and places like that, where kind of there's a voice and community where you see people on a day-to-day basis and there's some sort of anonymity, right? I can never say that word, anonymity. So I'm gonna give you 7 reasons for the drama. As a result, you'll come up with your own ways to avoid this sort of conflict in the future or recognize it at minimum. And at the end of the video, I kind of wanted to talk about like Cardi B and her crashing out with Off Cheat online, because this is kind of what got my head in the space where I wanted to talk about this. So guys, let's just jump in. Let's see how far I am. I'm 3 minutes in, so I'm doing pretty good at not rambling. I'm doing better about not rambling during my openings of the video, but let's jump right in. So let's talk about this. The fact that you're able to be anonymous in SL and then you have an avatar that you can create depending on your budget to be the most beautiful thing walking. Like all the avatars in SL for the most part are so beautiful that we have to add flaws to them in order to make them unique, because you know, if everyone's a 10, then there's the value of a 10 is not a 10, right? Like it's just average. Everyone's average, but averagely beautiful, or beautiful is average, I should say, right? And not only that, when you're able to create an avatar, people create these identities or personas that are not in lines with their real life selves. For the most part, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that because people are very complicated. What do I mean by that? So people literally are many different things. You're not just one thing. You're not just a mother, a father, an employee of whatever company, a basketball player, if you define yourself that way, a writer, so on and so forth. We have a variety of interests. We love a variety of music, even though there are certain stereotypes that certain people like certain things only. That's not true. As a whole human being, fully fleshed out, developed human being, and adult, we like a variety of things, a variety of music, variety of books, art, uh, have different interests. Some people like math and some people love to paint, like whatever the situation is. And sometimes their real lives does not align with all their interests. So you come into SL and you explore different aspects of your personality. So that's not the issue. The issue is sometimes being anonymous behind the avatar, it can encourage behavior that people kind of avoid in real life. So people tend to be a little bit more confrontational than they would be in real life. They participate in a lot of gossiping that they may not do in real life because they know I have to see my coworker tomorrow. I have to see this person at, in my friend circle at different events, even if we don't speak. And there's just some type of repercussion. Like you're going to have to pay the piper, you're going to have to face what you did, right? And also people engaged in manipulation, like and that's all sort of manipulation when it comes to businesses, friendships, or even relationships, intimate relationships. So you can hide behind the avatar, and that lowers your inhibitions and kind of it leaves a little bit more gray area on your moral scale, and then that's likely to cause a lot of drama. So that's number one, the fact that we can be anonymous if we want to. If you want to be a person that's SL only and not SL with an Instagram with a BTA, then you can be 100% anonymous. So that is one of the reasons for the high level of drama in a lot of virtual worlds and some of these other games. Emotional investment. So SL, like any other video game, so if you have people in your life who play like Call of Duty or any video game that's super popular, you spend hours and hours and hours on these games. And so our friendships that we have, like even as women, or a man-to-man friendship, man to woman, whatever it is, the they to they, them to them, whatever your pronoun is, right? Your friendships tend to be a little bit deeper because of the fact you could be anonymous. I feel like that, and people are not engaged or active in your real life, and you don't have to worry about your business being spread around to a certain extent, which will impact your image in real life. You tend to be a little bit more honest, a little bit more forthcoming, and a little bit more vulnerable. And as a result, the emotional investment is super high. You're spending hours with people, whether it's in an intimate relationship, friendship, or even business, or even role play communities. And these connections can sometimes blur the line between virtual life and real life. So it leads to really intense emotions like feelings of jealousy, betrayal, perceived slights, and this can escalate into really full-blown drama. So I think that's another reason. It's just a high emotional investment. So you have the veil there, and as a result your inner self comes out a little bit more, and you are really trusting people, like you're really opening up to people here. So if any little thing happens, it's like setting a match to kerosene, it just like blows up. The third thing is power dynamics and social hierarchy. I would say in the social hierarchy or power dynamics of Second Life, for example, I would say obviously the Lindens and the Moles are number one, right? Anyone on that admin team, anyone who works there, they're going to be, because that's where the power lies, right? Let's just keep it real. And then secondly, I would say is creators and landowners. I might put them in the same category, or they could be two or three. You can flip-flop it if you want. Then there's, and when I say landowners, I'm thinking like Ann Chung, I think that's her name, right? I'm thinking about landowners like that. Then sim owners, community owners, things like that. And I hope I'm not missing anything. And I just think like anyone who has popularity based on their family name, blogs, or whatever, things like that. And then there's everyone else. That's how the social hierarchy works in my brain. And the reason I say this is that I notice, like, if you go to a group, and I've seen people just have regular questions or disagree with the way a product was made or the quality of the product, and everyone just gets into this hive mind kind of situation where they're like Don't talk to this person like this. It doesn't matter if the person's right or wrong. It's just because of the person's status in Second Life that it becomes like a all versus one kind of situation. And I don't know if you've ever observed or experienced that before. And because of this perceived social hierarchy and these power dynamics, people tend to kind of tiptoe across lines a lot, and they kind of rally. It reminds me of like Nicki Minaj and the Barbs, right? If anyone says anything to Nicki, good, bad, or indifferent, the Barbs will swarm you. It's kind of like that same sort of situation. So people will compete for intention, influence, power within the game. And I know a lot of you like, but it's so stupid because you could just log off. It doesn't matter. But it does matter to people who spend a lot of time here. And this has become somewhat of a substitute for their real life in terms of their social, life, social engagement, whatever you want to call it, right? So it leads to rivalries, disputes, and drama whenever someone feels threatened or left out or not a part of a certain group. So power dynamics and social hierarchies are number 3, emotional investments number 2, and the fact that you're anonymous is number 1. The fourth thing kind of ties into all this stuff. It's going to be lack of consequences. So just the nature of being in a virtual world, it makes you feel like any action, a lot of actions that you take don't have real consequences. So people sometimes behave really recklessly or say things and do things they would not in real life because they feel that there's less accountability. And this can lead to, more volatile interactions, more conflict in relationships, and just a higher level of drama in general, right? Then there's blurring the lines of fantasy and reality. So virtual worlds do allow us to live out our fantasies, whether it's through role play, relationships, or even creative projects. Like I'm a perfect example, even with the creative projects. I would love in real life to be an entrepreneur, wear what I want to wear, not be forced to wear like corporate attire approved by HR, and have to even carry out that somewhat into my real life or keep my Instagram really private because I don't want to mix what I do in real life as well as what I do in my professional life, right? But so there is a clear delineation, right, between Second Life and real life. Certain things you could do in Second Life, you can't do it in real life. Sorry, guys, I lost my train of thought for a second. So what happens is over time, the lines between fantasy and reality kind of blur. So it creates misunderstandings, like hurt feelings. So an example of this is that maybe someone develops real life romantic feelings for someone who views a relationship that's purely a virtual experience. Or there are people in SL who might come here and it's just like strictly SL, but anything that they do or don't do is tainted for another person in their interactions with them as a slight, because it's like, I have real life feelings. My feelings are real. My feelings are not just relegated to this virtual realm. And you're treating everything so cavalier and casually that it just makes me feel unimportant, not validated, or whatever the situation, not worthy, whatever this person might think. So that's what I mean about blurring the lines of fantasy and reality, right? So there's that. Because this is a virtual world, a lot of people, not a lot of people, because I think a lot of people are keeping it real, but there are a lot of people who are pretending. And in that pretense, and especially when you're involved in intimate romantic partnerships or even friendships, like those type, less business, but in those type of relationships, like feelings could get really hurt, and that can cause conflict. Perceived lack of boundaries. So I want to talk about this as it relates to kind of SL's reputation when it comes to like the sex side of SL, right? That's one example of a lack of boundaries. It's 100% okay to explore aspects of your personality, even if it's sexual. I don't judge that. We're all adults. Like, let's be for real. Like, we've all participated as well in certain things that help us to explore ourselves and better get to know ourselves, right? But the thing is that there's a lack of boundaries when you're involving yourself in child play, when you're involving yourself in things that are just really, really morally gray or wrong altogether. It's just a lack of boundaries that you or standards that you'd adhere to in real life. People also, a lack of boundaries is oversharing, overstepping, and that causes a lot of like miscommunications and situations, and it leads to emotional fallouts and drama. And everyone's also pretty much always accessible online, and conflicts don't really have a chance to simmer down, and they escalate really quickly because you don't have time to take a breather, you don't have time to think about it, and a lot of us are very reactive. So because of the lack of boundaries, whether it comes to oversharing or overstepping, and I just use the sex example as one example, there's just many examples where you could cross boundaries. You cross boundaries in business where you see that someone has a certain idea and you steal it, or you see that people do this in real life too, but you see that your friend has a man and you want to steal her man, kind of thing, right? So there's a lot of crossing. You're saying things that you shouldn't be saying. You're spreading people's business around that you shouldn't be spreading. You're posting memes and jokes about other people and doxing them and doing. These are all lack of boundaries, and that leads or fuels the drama in SL, and it leads to that reputation of drama in virtual worlds. This probably should have been number 1, but I made it number 7. Multiple identities and alt accounts. So a lot of virtual world users, they create multiple accounts, which we know as alts, right? And it allows them to act out different aspects of their personality without revealing their main identity. Because when you're using a certain avatar for so long, like my Clout Chaser avatar, when I had Mousy, like at the height of my popularity, I felt like I couldn't do anything, right? Like if I was, and I was single for a majority of the time on my Mousy sim, but had been in relationships as well. But like say I wanted to go to a sex sim, and what's a popular one today? I think it's Tish or something like that. I forget the name of it. It's probably irrelevant. I don't remember the name of it. It's like TLSH, Little Sex House. That's the name of it. So that's a popular one today. So let's say I wanted to go to Little Sex House or something. I couldn't do it under Mousy. Like, I'm sorry, guys, it's the ambulance. I'll let it pass for a second. Prayers up to whoever needs the help and assistance, right? Let's say I wanted to go to Little Sex House, right? I couldn't do that because I feel like people would know. Or if I wanted to explore a relationship, I felt like people would judge the person or judge the relationship dynamic, and there would be eyes on certain things, right? And that happens to everyday people in SL, right? So that happens to everyday people in SL, and I was just, the reason I felt that was a little heightened for me is because I was a little bit more recognizable due to my channel. So I just felt like I didn't want to be like gossiped about. And yeah, it's true. I wanted to maintain a certain image, right? I just wanted to maintain a squeaky, clean, scandal-free image. Like that's important to me in real life. It's kind of important to me in Second Life. And it also is a big factor in how I navigate conflict. Usually it's quietly, no comment kind of situation, like, because I don't want things to like blow up. I don't want things to become a thing, if that makes sense, right? So people create alts for this reason, and that's how Karma was born, because I made tons of obbies, but I would use Karma to have a little bit more privacy and do things I wouldn't want to do under Mousy, but now Karma's my main, and I'm kind of feeling like I'm having that same issue. And the reason that I'm having the same issue is not because of the channel this time around, it's just because now I have like friendship groups and places that I go, and there's just certain things I don't feel comfortable doing under Karma, but that's a personal thing. It doesn't mean like that's what's happening in reality. It's just like a personal feeling of mine. So people create these alts and they do it for privacy reasons, right? Or sometimes people do it for more sinister reasons, like they're being deceitful, they're just causing all types of chaos and confusion. And like, for example, if someone discovers that like their friend or their partner has been interacting with them under a false identity, like that could lead to a lot of fights. Like sometimes people do that like to catch their partner out, like they might use their fake alt to talk to them on Instagram, Facebook, Prim Feed, whatever. I don't even know if you could talk to people on Prim Feed, or just approach them in public or spy on them, right? And or they use alts to troll people or just cause drama in or cause chaos. So these type of things can trigger major drama within within any social circle, not even certain social circles. So that's something to think about. And a bonus one is this perception of being invulnerable or just untouchable. So virtual worlds also give like us users the feeling of being untouchable, because what the hell you gonna do to me? All I gotta do is log the fuck off. Click the X and we're done. So avatars can't be physically harmed, and users can easily escape consequences by, you know, just logging off or switching accounts. And so this causes people to really act recklessly, say hurtful things, and engage in behavior that they wouldn't in real life, and that further fuels drama. So now that we kind of talked about some of the reasons, and guys, if you have any reasons that you want to add or comments down below, please feel free to add. I would love to hear your reasons why you think that there's so much drama in virtual worlds, or why it has a reputation for being really dramatic, because it's something that I've kind of thought about. And one big thing that I want to talk about, like some things you can't avoid, right? Like it's just par for the course. Like you're involved in a virtual world and some of these things are just going to come with it, right? But there's one thing that you could do, and that's your conflict resolution skills. So I've been watching Cardi B online, and her husband off cheat, or ex-husband, I'm not sure what his situation is. He basically said, and just for guys who don't know what's going on with Cardi B and her relationship and all that stuff, I'm just gonna give you a really brief synopsis. So Cardi B is like a really popular American rapper, and her husband was part of a really big group, the Migos, right? And when they got together, he was the bigger star. They were part of this, he was part of the Migos. It was like a really amazing group. Everyone loved their music, and they were like selling out, all the things, making good money, right? Cardi was a star on the rise. I know of her, like in being in New York, is I followed her before she even was on Love on Hip Hop or anything like that, because she was just funny as shit. Like she would be on Instagram just talking politics, just talking about life situations, just a bunch of different stuff. But she just had this candidness about her. She just kept it like really real, and just people liked her in general. They gravitated towards her. And I found out about her through my brother. He put me on to her. And I think my brother has like a special talent for sniffing out talent, because he always puts me on to like certain musical artists before they pop, or on their way before something tragic happens or something like that, because maybe they don't pop off. Like D-Baby, like he's a Houston rapper, and he didn't really pop off the way people thought that he would. They called him like the Mexican Kevin Gates, because I think his little drug addiction or whatever, but that's another story for another day. But like my brother would always put me onto these kind of different artists and stuff. And he put me on to Cardi B. He's like, she's gonna blow. And at that time, I didn't even know this girl rapped, but there was something about her, right? So I could totally understand why Offset would have kind of taken a liking to her, because there was definitely something about Cardi B. So anyways, they get in a relationship, they get married fairly quickly, and his star starts to diminish and hers rises, because, you know, he hit his peak and she was just on her way up. And that could cause, it depends on your partner, but you know, if you have a partner who has a big ego and is not able to process their feelings, because and it's not even a big ego, like we all have an ego, so things that we know shouldn't make us feel ways as a partner, like we all know we should be supportive, encouraging, loving partners. But sometimes there's situations where maybe your partner is doing better than you and you feel a little jealous. I think that's a natural feeling to have. But I think the way you work through it determines like whether you're a good or bad person, if we want to just put some extreme labels on it, right? So we could tell, or I could tell just as a person with critical analysis skills, that as she is going up and his star is diminishing, he's feeding his ego, making him feel good with the fawning and attention of women. And he she immediately fell pregnant, and I was so shocked because I was like, why would she do this? Like, she worked so hard in her career. It was so hard to knock down doors. People said she couldn't rap. They was making fun of her teeth. They was making fun of her looks and all these things. And it's like, girl, you're right at the cusp. You're right at the door. Like, why would you do this? But thankfully, it did not derail her career. Like, we're in 2024, things have changed. It's not like she's going to be put up because she had a baby, and it worked out for Cardi, and I was super happy for her, right? But I was scared for her. I'm not going to lie to you. I was a little nervous, but it worked out for her. So she gets pregnant, and there's not too long after, there's rumors that this man is cheating on her. It gets so bad that she hired people to fight one of the girls that he was supposedly cheating with. She had to go to court. There were consequences to pay, the whole nine. And later on, we find out that he ends up sleeping with this girl again. For me, that would have been enough. Like, me just finding out that you're cheating is enough. And it's not because I just feel like I've been around the block a time or two, and I just know that so to me, a person with the characteristic of someone who will cheat, because I think that is a character flaw. I do believe that, because we're all grown. Like, open your mouth. Just be like, XYZ is going on with me. I'm not sure this is the kind of relationship that I want for me at this time based on the way it's making me feel and how I'm able to manage that. And I need to move around. The door and the window works, you know? Like, you could just say, this is not working for me. Or you could just say, I want an open relationship. Or you could say a myriad of things, but I don't think that cheating should be the default or is a solution to anything. And guys, think about what goes along with that. So I'm in this relationship, and I'm giving you my all my love, all my attention, all my support, all this and that. That could honestly go to me, right? I'm doing these things for you, and you're snaking me behind my back. In order for you to cheat, you got to lie to me. You got to take time away from me that you could spend with me, that you can invest into our relationship. And then you have to consciously know that you're potentially opening me up to like sexual diseases as well, right? Because you're introducing another person's body and fluids and whatever else they got going on into our relationship, and I didn't sign up for that. So to me, that's a absolute deal breaker. It really is a deal breaker for me. But anyway, he cheats on her, and then I was so mad at the internet because everyone was like, that's your husband, you need to take him back. So she takes him back, and girls, let this be a warning to you. So she takes him back, and he does it again and again and again and again. When I tell you that he has humiliated this woman, like humiliated her, drug her, to me, lowered her stock. And this is the icing on the cake. So within the past year or two, she's come out and she's done these like rants and screams on the internet, right? And this is going to tie back to conflict resolution, guys. She does these rants and screams on the internet, and she's basically saying, guys, I did all this stuff for you. You always trying to fuck with me when I'm at my low and my self-esteem is not that good. And I'm assuming that she's talking and referencing the cheating or maybe the neglect or whatever the hell is going on in their relationship, right? And I did all this stuff for you, and I don't even get a fucking thank you. You're this, you're that. And she's calling him all kinds of names. And she's doing this on the internet. Guys, I'm half Haitian and half Trinidadian. And if anybody know anything about Haitian people, the way our pride is set up, I would rather take a leather jacket and cut it up into microscopic pieces with a knife, a dull butter knife, and a fork, marinate it in balsamic vinaigrette, and eat that shit before I ever went online and told my business like that, or ranted and raved, or did any of that shit. So she does that. I don't agree with this because this impacts her image, which ultimately impacts her business, and it impacts what you can leave to your kids. That's how I'm thinking about it, right? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, just move around, girl. Like, move around. You will never be taken advantage of. Because, okay, guys, I'm gonna step back for a second because now I'm just ranting and raving because I'm getting all into this now. Think about this. Every relationship that we have is going to have like a 95% failure rate unless you marry somebody and you die with them, right? And how many people do we know today who are doing that or who's done that? Like, my grandparents did that, but I can't name any other couple, like my aunties, my mom, and these women were all married and stuff. My friends, like, Some relationships are still going, so still to, to be determined. And other relationships, people got divorced, people broke up, they had new partners, maybe the partners were better fits, whatever the situation is. Maybe this is cynical of me, but I think 95% of your relationships is not going to work out. But it's not all a dub, it's not all a loss, right? Because you're going to have amazing times in this relationship. This person's going to connect to you spiritually, they're going to make you laugh, they're going to support you, you're going to learn things from them, they're going to learn things from you, and you guys are going to glow up in each other's presence, hopefully. And then sometimes things change. Like, people don't remain the same, people change. The Mousy of 2020, 2021, 2022 is not the Mousy of 2024, and I'm not going to be that Mousy in 2028 or 2027. It just is what it is. Our needs change, our desires change, all these things change. Sometimes we have duties and responsibilities that keep us in certain places, like our children, our family, whatever the situation, our businesses, whatever the situation is. But that's an agreement between two people. But what I'm saying is this: if you don't overgive of yourself, if you're not forgiving like this outrageous amount of humiliation and devaluing and not non-appreciation that's being shown, you're not going to be screaming on the internet like this. So she did another, like, I don't know, it was like a 7-part rant about how he accused her of cheating while she was pregnant, and she's like, I did, again, damaging your own image, your own brand. I don't understand that. You guys tell me if you disagree with that. But she's like, I did. Like, even if she did, it's nobody's business. Like, why do people need to know that? All right, so that happens, right? And then they're going back and forth. I don't want you. I'm not going to talk about you, a lame ass, whatever, ninja. And then she proceeds to continue to talk about him, giving him so much airtime. Girl, if I was Cardi B and I was as successful as she is, and you laid down on the table, got all these BBLs, nose job, this and that, to be the most perfect bitch in your opinion, right? In your opinion, you feel like this makes you like the top tier, cream of the crop, creme de la creme bitch, right? Why are you not moving like that? Why are you not moving like that? What you got to do with people like that, especially, I already told you guys the dynamic in terms of stardom, is just like let him fade into obscurity. You take away the clout that he's riding on, that social influence, social capital, and all that stuff that he's riding on. Take that away from him. Just move around him. He could be a great father, but not a great man to you. And I debate the great father part, because how good a father could you be if you're ruining the mental health of the mother of your children, right? But whatever, she could just move, let this man fade into obscurity, like silently. Don't give him no face, no comments. If you feel like going out with other men's gonna make him sick, do that. But to live your life, not because you want to get a rise of him, just forget about him. So she does all this, and then he turns around, girls and guys, if you guys are watching, like, girl, he turns around and says, everybody could see that I don't want you, and you my baby mother anyway. I won. Like, this woman's your fucking wife. She's your wife. Like, you took vows before God and the mother of your children. And do you see how he's talking to her and like how he's treating her? Sister, friends, young girls, let this be a lesson to you. Because there's some men who feel like having a child with you, and having a child is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful experience, especially if you're financially able to take care of that child, especially if you have time and space to be able to take care of yourself as well as the child and enjoy the experience of that, instead of like just struggling to provide and survive, right? There are some men who will just saddle you with a baby because they think that that's going to sit you down, that you're not going to be able to go out, you're not going to be able to move the way you want to move, you're not going to be able to accomplish the goals because your goals, because you're going to be so worried about taking care of their children, so occupied with that, and you're going to be connected to them for life. Not till they're 18, boo-boo, for life. For life. Him saying that, that's a word right there. I won. Not that I won, that's what he said, because you're my baby's mother or the mother of my children. Like, what is he saying? And then let's talk about the financial aspect of it, guys. It's just that I'm sure she makes more money. And if she doesn't have an ironclad prenup, she's going to have to pay for the misery he inflicted on her. Not smart, guys. This is not smart. And time and assets in, like, time matters. The more time you spend with somebody, like when I was getting divorced from my ex-husband, certain accounts and things that he had, when the judge was like, do you want a portion of his retirement? Do you want a portion of his investments? Do you want a portion of this? The percentage that I was going to get was based on the time that we were married. So she put in more time thinking that she's forgiving him and that she's keeping her family together, but it's going to cost her. But I just went completely sidetracked because it was just on my mind and I was upset about this situation. I'm not like upset because I don't know her or nothing like that, but I was like, damn, like I just felt like so disrespectful, all that stuff that happened. Enjoy a person until you're not enjoying them. And when you're not enjoying them and you don't feel like you can work the issues out that you're having, move around. Just move around. So that's number one. In any situation where you're having conflicts in Second Life, move around. The door and the window works. Like, it's gonna suck because a person's a part of your everyday, like the day-to-day stuff that you do in Second Life. They're a part of your routine. That's the word I'm looking for. They're part of your routine. And so you're going to be like a little discombobulated for a little while. You're not going to know whether to turn left, whether to turn right, what's going on. And that's okay. Like, it's going to suck, but it's okay. Conflict resolution. A lot of people like to go on the internet and tell all their business. They like to go in conferences, tell their business. There is value in privacy. There is value in moving in silence. When you move in silence, people don't know what your next move is going to be. There is strategy in that. So I would say too, like when people start to, air you out and tell your business online and create these memes and do all this stuff, a no comment is okay. A no comment is a comment. It's like, you're not worth my time. Like, that's what that is. I don't know. This video is kind of different from what I typically do, but I do like to chat. I like to talk. I like to kind of think about things and analyze situations and ways that I could avoid them. Because not for nothing, guys, a smart person doesn't need to learn from experience, their own experience. They could learn from the experience of others. So I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. Make sure that you go grab those free shoes if you haven't. Put your username in the last video that I made. Thank you guys for everyone who's like still rocking with me and watching my channel. I love you to death. And talk to you guys later. And I might be filming more videos because it's like kind of fun to me. I like talking into the ether. I could kind of entertain myself. Like, even if no one watches this, I feel good about having this conversation with thin air. It's the shit that runs through my mind anyway. But have an amazing weekend, guys. I love you. I care about you. Protect yourself, protect your energy, and just move around. The door and the window works. Just remember that. Bye.